Hello friends, welcome back to another Misty Cute video. Subscribe, only if you want. I am literally one of the laziest people I know. And I actually don't mean that as an insult. I'm very proud of myself for that because I work very hard to be this lazy. I think every person comes to a realization at some point that hard work doesn't equate to more money, to a better life, so on and so forth. I think some people might be like, duh.
Are you stupid?
But the thing is, yes, I am stupid. Now how do you feel? You feel bad? Because you should. You've probably seen those videos on TikTok or Twitter that show people working in fields and talking about how is this unskilled labor? These examples show that even though these people work super fucking hard, like literally the definition of working themselves to the bone, yet they don't make the same amount of money as somebody who has chosen or had fallen into the life of office work or something. Or, now this is key, may come as a shock, but privilege plays a role as well. A lot of people don't have the opportunity, the initial opportunity to get into a position where they can earn more money or go into a different line of work. Because of course there are examples of people who go from rags to riches, people who work their way up the ladder and, oh, they were so committed to this and now they run the company, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. First of all, you shouldn't have... I'm getting a little socialist here. Oh my god, I look so buff. Oh. Now this is hard work, baby. This is hard work, brother. Actually, that's another example of hard work is like, I can work hard in the gym to like reach my fitness goals, but that also, I have the privilege, the benefit of good health. I have the privilege of the money to spend at the gym, of people supporting me. And in terms of like monetary work, I was gonna say a lot of people who do come from rags to riches do have support, do have help, whether it be from their family, from a company, from a benefactor. What I'm trying to convey though is that none of that is inherently wrong. I have people in my family who were born into very wealthy lifestyles, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Like, they didn't make that choice, nor does somebody who is born into poverty. But again, let's be real here. Being born into poverty is a lot harder, a lot more difficult, because you are focusing on surviving. Similarly, if you're born in an abusive situation, that can hinder your growth. There are just like so many factors at play. I went off on that a little bit longer than I was planning, but all that to say that working hard doesn't mean that you are going to get ahead, doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve more. It's this fallacy that this work system has birthed in our minds, especially the American mind. I can't really speak to other countries, but it's a relentless hustle. And here's my point. If you're working for something, towards something that you desire, then I think working your ass off, as in you're like skipping meals and you're not getting enough sleep, can somewhat be justified, but I truly believe that it's actually unnecessary. Like, that is a core belief that I have adopted because, again, you see so many people with monetary success, with emotional success, with physical success in terms of like weightlifting, whatever, who work strategically, but they don't necessarily work hard. They don't have to sacrifice the things that keep them at peace, that keep them human, honestly. I think it's really unfortunate that everything is made out to seem super unattainable and super difficult. It's very gatekeepy. Take myself, for example. Okay, I worked my ass off when I was younger, and I definitely felt that stress from a very young age. Like, when people say that, oh, I wish I could go back to the days of childhood when you didn't have to worry about things and blah, blah, blah. I don't relate to that at all. Like, I was constantly in fear that my mom was gonna die, that I didn't know enough to survive out in the world in the future, that I wasn't good enough, that I had to work even harder than I already was. I worked my way through college, and it was really after I earned my bachelor's degree that I was like, okay, I worked really hard for this degree. I see people in these highfalutin jobs and I'm observing them, but they're not actually doing very much. And I know they're making like 6-7 figures even. They're not necessarily doing much, but they know a lot. Now again, you could do a lot and know a lot and still not make that much money. That's part of the point, is that it doesn't necessarily equate. Like, you kind of just have to decide how much money is going to work for you and then strive after it in the ways that appeal to you. I know that's like way oversimplified because, like I talked about, privilege and access to things play a huge role. And even in my privileged position, even with a master's degree, it was so hard to get a job. And I'm still, according to the internet, woefully underpaid for people with my degree. That being said, I pretty much decided that I was not going to work as hard, as in I was going to remove the stress from my work life and simply do what I felt like doing. I also have a bunch of side hustles. As some of you may know, I have my spicy work, I have YouTube. I also help friends from time to time with marketing and things of their businesses, which I do for free. But I am in a position, even with my corporate job, where I have the privilege of just putting my energy toward what calls to me. And I honestly hope that for everyone, because at my core, I feel like that's an ideal society, is if we can all just, and this is so utopian, but fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyway. If we had a true version of capitalism, like Adam Smith, the invisible hand, then it would essentially look like you have people specializing in what they desire to do, but everyone feels that same sense of contribution. Now, people could be like, oh, but a doctor is way more inherent to a society, to a culture, than an artist. And I would 1000% disagree with that, because art is everywhere. It's involved in everything. For example, the interior design of a hospital, like, things just aren't thrown into a room. They are specifically designed a certain way for function, for cost, for X, Y, and Z. Also, I really hate that everything feels like it has to come down to monetization to be capitalism of it. Capitalism as we know it in our world today. It's hard to just enjoy a hobby these days. Like, I hear a lot of young people, myself included, saying this, where when you really enjoy something, you're just kind of thinking, okay, how can I turn this into a hustle? So we're obviously not living in an ideal world where everybody can just do what they want to do and things work themselves out. Wouldn't that be nice? But the way to bring that into your own life is, like I said, using the example of myself, focus on the things that you do like in this reality. Focus your energy there. Find things to like and to enjoy in what you do. Even like the shittiest jobs that I've had. There was one time I was a temp, and so I did a lot of work at like assembly lines and stuff like that for a summer. And one of the jobs that I was put on was this food factory, and so they packaged like granola bars and stuff. And I fucking hated it. I only did it for like a week. And thankfully I was friends with this one girl who also temped there. So even though the job sucked, I was like, okay, first of all, this is only temporary. And second of all, I get to talk to this friend, this new friend that I made for, 8 hours. And then she left after 2 days because it sucked so bad. But I made a new friend. And then I just looked forward to it ending. But even on the assembly line, I was like looking for little things to do while also planning my departure. A lot of times we feel stuck, but we're just not. My best friend in the world has a lot of health issues that prevent her from working a standard 9-to-5 job. And she has applied for, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of jobs over the last few years. And she is a true blue hard worker. But that's just how she is. Whether it's making dinner, whether it's creating a gift for somebody, whether it's learning a new craft, she approaches it with that mindset of, I'm going to invest my all into this. I have a different approach to things, but it's mine. And that's okay. If she works way harder at something, that's her own volition and it doesn't need to reflect on me, and vice versa. As you can see, I don't upload YouTube videos that frequently, like every few weeks is kind of the standard right now. And that's because I am maintaining this mentality. When I did YouTube like a few years ago, I was like diligent every single week. I need to do an upload, and then I think it turned into every 2 weeks. And I did Vlogmas one year. Like, oh my god, that was tough. If you don't know what that is uploading a new video every single day of December leading up to Christmas. I don't know how people do it like every single year. I guess if you're a full-time YouTuber, it makes more sense. But yeah, I just was like, okay, I'm looking at all these different kinds of YouTubers. Everyone has a different strategy. You can look at somebody like the Wizard Liz, who is a super successful YouTuber, and she only uploads like once in a while. Her video quality is not like super HD, not super high or anything, but the content itself is so enriching that every video that she uploads blows up because she has that it factor, which I have too. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put this added pressure on it. I'm gonna practice what I preach with this channel, not put the stress on myself to upload like constantly, but listen to my inner creative compass and try to make videos that way without that pressure, because then the content is so much more authentic. And that's what I want to bring to you guys on this channel. And you will see that with me not working very hard, this channel is blowing up as we speak. That is my reality. In summation, work smarter, not harder. I should have said that at the beginning. Don't yourself with working hard. Rather, invest your energy in a way that feels honest. And I think you'll see that that actually provides a much better result in every sense. It's more efficient, you're creating better stuff, and you'll be happier in the end because you're not exhausted from pushing yourself in order to stay in the proverbial rat race, as it were. Also, try not to internalize people's judgments of you. Like, obviously, don't just ignore work that needs to be done. It's really just about your approach. Best of luck with your work journeys, and subscribe if you want to.